Hey everyone, Joseph Zabrowski here. I'm here today to talk about my passive income portfolio. I have two excellent passive income sources. If you've been following my videos, I've been talking about one of those sources. I've shown you numerous income proof. I now have a second one, and it's very good. And so if you would like to learn about those sources, they can serve as a great income for you in your life. Just contact me at the contact information here below, ofpeb@yahoo.com, or phone number is 517-518-6093. Now, as many of you know, this year has been a very difficult year in the crypto space. As you can see on the screen, you're looking at Bitcoin. It's channeling. It's been basically channeling between about 8,000 and 6,000 for the entire year. Now, if Bitcoin does what it historically does over the last couple of months of every year, then that would mean that it's going to go up. Last year, Bitcoin went up in the month of November almost from 6,000 to close to $20,000 in 1 month. Now, if that happens again this year or anything like it, then my other investments or income streams in my passive income portfolio will be successful, and it will be an amazing year. But it will be a year in which there were many struggles. In that the entire year we were looking at $6,000 to $8,000 Bitcoin. But when I add to it, as things were tough this year, I was still digging and working and looking for ways. And as I said, I have found these two ways, and they're phenomenal. They're both really good, solid companies. And so while things were tough, I was making the most of it. And I think that's a wise thing to do for anyone in any space. So, this space, not to just talk about this space in a little more detail. The space that we are in, you guys, when I first stepped into it, this crypto space, this crypto passive income space, I didn't really have an awareness of what was around me. I just kind of jumped in and looked at something that looked really good. I got into it. I used the bank's money to leverage them, or the credit card's money to leverage the opportunity, and it was very successful. I made good money in it. Okay. Through the process, I have learned that this space is like walking through a minefield, literally. I mean, you got to watch your every step. But big picture, the whole idea is that you would get so good in this space that you could actually run through the minefield and know whether to take a left or right every step that you take, because you've become so good at it. Most people in this space, probably the vast majority, 98 percentile, when they don't experience success, they walk away, okay, instead of pressing in. I'm an entrepreneur, and if things get difficult, instead of quitting, we press in, we find a way to be successful. And that is, if you look at any walk of life, no matter what you're in, those are the kind of elements that are necessary to be excellent in anything. And when things get very tough and you're in the heat of the battle, instead of turning around and going back to Egypt, okay, you continue to move forward, you press in, you look for the details, you look for an opening, and you find a way to be successful. Okay, I've liked a saying that I've kind of lived by over the years from Henry Ford, the guy who created Ford Motor Company. He said, "Failure is only the opportunity to begin again more intelligently." I live by those words, and it's true. Henry Ford was unsuccessful with his first two car companies. The third one was successful. He perfected his automobile, and he was 39 years old when that happened. He struggled for many years to finally get to where he had to go, and it's the perfect story in this space and any other space. So, as I was saying, this space is like walking through a minefield, and you learn to have guidelines that to live by. And what I've learned in this space, I've learned a lot, and I'll share a couple of things with you. First off, when you choose a company to either invest with or do business with in this space, you're ideally looking for a company that has a solid product or service behind it, where they're earning a lot of money off of it, okay, and you're able to leverage what they have going for them as a business. There's a lot of companies in this space, mining companies, so to speak, that come into the space and you're just investing in the mining, or you're investing in whatever they're allowing you to invest in. And those companies that don't have a solid product or service behind them, it is wise in this space to not be involved with those companies any longer than the first 3 to 6 months of those companies. In other words, you milk them for the first 3 to 6 months, okay? After 6 months, it's wise to get out of that company, take your money off the table and leave, and find the next promising company. Hopefully that next promising company will be a company that, once again, has a great product or service behind them, in which case, if you do find a company like that, you can plan on being in that company for the first 6 to 12 months or more, depending on how solid their product is. But these are the guidelines that you learn to have as you move forward in this space, because, as I said, there's going to be, in this space, there's going to be companies that are there to scam you, and there's going to be companies that are really legitimate companies but are facing major government regulations. They're facing all kinds of traditional competition in terms of, governments. We're talking about currencies. Cryptocurrencies are the biggest competition now against, stuff like the US dollar, or the Japanese yen, or the Chinese yuan, or whatever. Our cryptocurrency space is direct competition to them. So we got a lot coming against us. So these people are going to try to put pressure on companies in this space to bring them down. So you have to always keep that in mind and move accordingly. So when you get in these companies, if you get into a situation where you're earning daily interest, it's wise to, number one, and it wasn't like this always for me, but it's wise to first get your initial investment out of there as soon as possible. Once you have your initial investment, you've taken it in whatever you're earning in interest. Once you have that in your coffer, you then can leverage them, because everything after that is going to be extra money. And then, so one of the things that I think is wise to do is, depending on the situation, whether it's a company without a product or service behind it, or if it is a company with a product or service behind it, it's wise, as I said, to take your initial seed money out up front, and then say go 50-50. Either if they give you the ability to compound your money in this, you can do 50% of the time compound your money and 50% of the time withdrawal. Another nice little strategy is to, in the first month, get all your money out, make it all withdrawals. In the second month, compound or recycle your money. One moment. In the third month, do 50-50 and move on down the line in that way. So anyways, if you'd like to take advantage of what I've taken the time to have to learn, I went through the struggle. I've taken on the risk, and I can show you income proof in both of these businesses. But because they have compliance measures and they're private companies, which is a great thing. They know this space, some of the things that I've just been explaining to you. They're not going to be out there shouting from the rooftops, here, come over here and join us in our business. Because it's that type of situation in this space with the competition that I just spoke of that's going to get you in trouble. So the fact that these are compliant companies within their own realm that want to remain private, that's an indication that they're a solid company. So if you want to learn more about these companies, give me a phone call or send me an email, and we can set up a Zoom meeting, and I will show you everything. I'll show you income proof and give you the details, and you can get started and earn a great passive income. And it can be your income, your sole income, if you want it to be. So that is it, my friends. Take care. God bless.